Yeah, in Germany and in the Western world, we are dealing with a very aggressive and ignorant policy of rearmament against Russia, trying to establish or re-establish the lie of a NATO fighting for freedom and democracy. And I think the best thing we can do about this is to raise awareness that the opposite is true. So there has been exactly no war in the recent 70 years without like brutal interventions of the NATO. And yeah, we take up this challenge to work for an international peace movement. And a thing we can learn, from the film and from the whole of the history of the time that NATO exists is that we have the history on our side. And that's why we're very happy to watch this movie, Coup 53 tonight, because I think it's a very impressive example of how badly we have to get rid of this regime of politics in order to establish like a world of peace and real freedom. And therefore we are very happy to welcome Taghi and the film editor Walter Murch. And we're happy to and we are also happy to have like a premiere, not like a premiere, we have the premiere of this movie in Germany today, and we will be showing the movie with German subtitles for the first time ever. And just just a few brief words to introduce our guests. Taghi was born in Iran and has lived and worked in Great Britain since 1975. And in his films, he deals mainly with the history of military interventions in the Middle East. For the film we're watching tonight, he has traveled over the world to talk to witnesses of the coup in '53 and to explain the background of the event that happened that year, that we'll be watching in the movie. You'll see that. And we're also very pleased that Walter Murch has joined us from London to talk about the film. Walter Murch is an American director, screenwriter, and sound editor. And he's worked on masterpieces such as Apocalypse Now and The English Patient, and has won several Oscars for his work as a film editor. So again, thank you very much for being here, and we're very looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much. I normally speak better when I'm standing up. And will you be translating, or shall I just... How many can understand what I'm saying? Fantastic. So I'm not going to speak German for you then. First of all, میخواستم از هموطنان ایرانی مقیم همبورگ تشکر کنم که تشریف آوردین. خیلی خیلی باعث افتخاره که دوستان اینجا هستن. I also want to thank Thomas, Ida, Francisca, and the team for inviting the film for this screening, for the commitment to making it happen. To Thomas, who spent hundreds of hours doing the translation and the subtitling. I really admire your commitment and passion. Whether you know it or not, hosting this screening is an act of political defiance, because this film has had many, many, many obstacles in getting made, and then it's had many, many obstacles in getting out. And the fact that you're screening it itself is an act of political engagement and defiance. So thank you for that. In fact, thank you for coming. There are many, many people who don't want you to see this film, or don't want anyone to see this film. So this is an added bonus for me to see such a great crowd and such a committed crowd here. I'm not going to shut up. One of the greatest things that happened for me in making this film, which took many, many years, it took over 10 years, in fact we are now in the 12th year, is having Walter Murch join the production and stay with it and make the most unbelievable contribution to this film. Without Walter, there is no Coup 53. So I hand over to Walter Murch.
Thank you, Taghi. It's lovely to be here with you in Hamburg, although just my pixels. But thank you very much for the organizers to have this screening. As Taghi said, we made the film under considerable financial difficulties over a long period of time, but then the story of what happened to this film after it was released is another mystery espionage story, and I think we can go over some of that once you have seen the film and seen what the context is. So I'll be very much looking forward to speaking to all of you after the screening.
Great, thank you, Walter. One other thing. Germany has a very special place in the history of this production. One of the most important sources of archive is held by an Iranian gentleman in Berlin called Dr. Hamid Ahmadi. And we did our first official filming on the 3rd of June, 2015 in Berlin. And that kickstarted the access to this amazing, amazing archive, and Mr. Ahmadi himself that makes the film what it is, seeing people speak for the first time on some important events in the story of the coup. So, and so it's great to have Full Circle back in Germany for its screening with German subtitles. Thank you.